Hello, and welcome to Experience Fulton, the podcast. I'm Regina Waller, Division Manager, Communications and External Affairs for Fulton County. This podcast will not only provide you with information regarding the services and products that Fulton County has to offer, but we'll give you a close-up look into the department and the people who bring you those services. Thank you for joining us. I'm Regina Waller with Fulton County, and welcome to the Experience Fulton, the podcast. This is the first official podcast for 2026. So we just want to say again, welcome, and it's going to be a great show. In fact, we are on location here at Morehouse College for the second annual Face the Icons event with the Department of Arts and Culture. We're going to have a real conversation again with youth, young Black males between the ages of 18 to 24. And joining us is one of the panelists, Mr. Alexander John, who is an artist, a designer, a fashion wizard, as I like to call him. So I just want to say welcome and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
So tell us, why is it important for you to be here with these young people tonight, helping to steer them on their correct path or on their path, period, when it comes to their careers?
Yeah. So for me, this is life work. I've always known that I would be involved in this type of work because I saw that I needed it as a kid. I needed that steering, and I can go back to the people who had those moments, those conversations with me that changed my course. We all have the opportunity to go right or left, and the people that are there to inspire you, help you make those decisions. Whether we say it or not, we're all influenced for good or for bad. And for me, my power is for good because I've seen the bad, and so no matter what in life that I've gone through, I believe that someone else needs it. And so my ability to share and be open, transparent, I think is part of the reason why I believe this is the work that I'm supposed to be doing.
And you talk about when you were in youth and you were getting on your path to go where you needed to go career-wise. What would you say was that one pivotal moment that caused you to turn in the right direction?
Yeah. So for me, it was just looking at my friends, the landscape, life expectancy. I grew up in the projects as a kid, 3 out of 10, and the third out of 10. So we weren't expected to live long according to the stats, and so for me, I had to realize either I can go the way of the world and what seems to be the way, expected, or I can choose to use my God-given gifts and look into why do I have these, so-called powers. And that was the moment that turned everything for me because it was like either or. We are all brought to this decision where you have to make or decide who you're going to be and why.
We have to talk a little bit about your work because the fit here, first off, is just absolutely, as the children like to say, I'm an old lady, but this is just absolutely beautiful what you have on. So talk to us about, the work that you do as a designer and as an artist.
So started off in clothing, and I loved clothing from the beginning. Looked at Ralph Lauren windows. I got into retail first. And I became a designer based off of my relationship with retail and being inspired by other, creatives that were in the space. So in 2001, I started taking it very seriously on the clothing side and got out of retail, started my own clothing line and got it back into retail, started designing spaces and doing visual merchandising for other clients. And the opportunity to do sneakers came about. So, through a friend of mine who I had given the task, but he didn't accept it. So the client asked me if I can do it. And so by way of custom sneakers, designing my own clothes at a kitchen table, God has brought me to this place where I now work for the who's who and have collaborated with brands that are just it's a dream really. Because from where I come from, I didn't go to school for what I do. I've actually self-taught, and learned through travel and learned through experience, and learned through doing. I have my own studio now and I have my own, consulting business and I consult the brands that people would love to work for. So it's like a thing where you want to work for a brand, but then you end up being the person that the brands want to work with. It's that type of relationship now.
Can you give us a sneak peek of what we can expect from Alexander John up in the future?
Absolutely. So you can expect more creative direction. I have some Adidas stuff that I'm doing for a client in Milwaukee, who's a good friend of mine. So you can expect to see something as early as April on that. And it's going to, I would like to say, shake up the world. And then from there, you'll see me drop my own sneakers. It's one of the toughest things that I've ever done. But to have your own line, to be a maker is what I teach now. Because it's not just important to work with or work for, but you have to be able to have your own as well in order to have a full conversation that's uninterrupted.
And all that you do, and in coming here to this event and sharing that knowledge, what is the one thing that you hope these young men walk away with after hearing what you have to say as well as the other parents?
I hope they walk away with understanding they can do it now, that they don't have to map out this 10-year course, or that if you believe, if you understand what your path is, then it is not for you to put time in between that. Let time itself do that. But you can do it now.
Thank you so much for joining us and giving us a sneak peek into what you do, and also sharing that knowledge again with you. So we just say thank you again to Alexander John for joining us for this portion of the Experience Fulton podcast.
Thank you for having me again.
So we're going to continue our conversation about face icons. This is the second year for this event, and this is an inspirational conversation with Black males in the community. And we could not do this podcast without talking to the man behind this mission, Director of Arts and Culture in Fulton County, Mr. David Manuel. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. This is great.
So with this particular event, we're here at Morehouse College. That in itself says it all. We are in the midst of what we call Black excellence with young Black males, but you are attracting them from all walks of life, from all parts of the city to come to this particular event. Let's talk about face icons. Why is this so important, and what exactly is this for?
So it's so important. First, let me say we have no boundaries in terms of where we present or where we have a presentation. So it can be in South Fulton, North Fulton, or in between, long as we get the people so that we can pour into them. I think when you start thinking about face and faces of fashion, you think about the art, you think about the fashion. But there's so much more to this program than just the display of fashion. It's the conversation, it's the pouring into. What better place to pour into young minds than the campus of Morehouse? And what better time to do it during Black History Month?
Of course, and you talk about face, the fashion, the arts, culture, and education. The education piece is so vital because we are talking about how to put these young people on the path to what it is that they want to do. And for a lot of them, it is partly education that is a foundation for them.
You know, when I was growing up and when all of us was growing up and we had career day, people would talk about, what do you want to be? And most kids would be like, I want to be an athlete. I want to be a football player, a police officer, a fireman, and that kind of thing. Now we're opening up and giving them an opportunity to understand you can be in front of the camera. You can be behind the camera. You can be a model. You can be a tech production person. There's so many opportunities when it comes to art and culture and fashion. And these kind of conversations creates a safe place for young people to say, hey, this is what's going on in my mind. These are the barriers. And to hear from some really big influencers saying, I've walked that wall. I've been through that path. Here's some ideas on how to get past that.
So let's talk about some of the panelists that you have, some of the people that you've brought together to meet with the young people who are going to be here. Tell us who is on tap.
So we have Judge McBurney. We have actor David Banner. It's going to be moderated by Lamont Rucker, actor. We have Stevie Baggs Jr., and me and him has been on media tour here lately. And then we have our designer, Alexander John. And so we have a variety of people that are excited to pour into these young minds. They're in a better position than we were when we were growing up. I wish I had a program like this to kind of guide me to say, hey, you need to go this direction, or don't be afraid to explore this opportunity. And so for us to be here tonight on a Wednesday night in Morehouse campus, really talking up close and personal and creating a space where everybody can join in, that's what government should do. And I'm excited to be part of it.
You know, David, as I listen to you speak, you make me think that you had someone that put you on that path. And here you are, a man of 35 years old.
Wow.
So tell us what part, when did it happen for you growing up that kind of turned you in the right direction?
Well, first of all, you need to add 25 plus years to that age. The reason I do this is the opposite. I didn't have someone to pour into me at that age. I learned vicariously through watching programs on TV like Good Times and the Huxtables, and now, having the opportunity to be up close and in front of young people, giving them something that I didn't get, because you want the next generation to be better than this generation. And so I think we have a responsibility to make sure that we take the next person to the next step. It's not about me being successful. I don't even want to be successful. I want to be significant. And part of being significant means you got to make the impact in the lives of others.
Well, the significance is this is the second year,
Right.
and it looks like it's going to be an annual event. So we just say thank you for bringing that panel together, and also thank you for taking a few moments to talk with us about this particular event. So we have Mr. David Manuel, the Director of Arts and Culture for Fulton County. Just again, thank you for joining us.
And thank you for highlighting this program. Thank you.
We are continuing our Face the Icons podcast today. Thank you for joining us. Right now, we have Mr. Khalil Muhammad. He is a student at Morehouse. So, Khalil, tell me just a little bit about your student life. Where do you study?
My name is Khalil Muhammad. I'm a freshman finance major from Queens, New York. So my student's life, I love Morehouse. The community is great. Everyone's super kind, but also the main part for me that I love is everyone is like-minded as me, to where they want to be successful, and it motivates me to do better.
Okay. That sounds really good. And I love that you talked about motivation, because that is pretty much what this event tonight is about. Can you tell me a little bit about what made you interested in wanting to attend this event tonight?
Well, to be honest, my Uncle Tron is DJing this event.
Mm-hmm.
So because he showed me so much support and love since I've gotten down here in August, I felt it's only right that I come and support him. Yeah.
Tonight we will have a couple different panelists who span the industry of arts and entertainment, fashion, things like that. Did you have anyone in particular that you were excited to hear?
I did not, but
You're just taking it all in.
I'm just here to learn something new.
Okay. And then what do you think is the most important part about events like this? As a college student, coming to a space where people can talk and breathe life into you, how important do you think that is to you?
I think it's very important because I just feel students need to hear from older people. It's always important because, you guys have more experience than us, so there's always something to learn from everyone.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.